Hello everyone, Nev here, and I have a bunch of my decks here to kind of just quickly showcase some of my bags. Now, I'm not going to be going through these and showing these bags specifically because this video is actually about the decks that I don't have bags for or that I haven't made bags for. Yeah, so before this started, I just kind of wanted to show just a few of give an idea of the kind of bags that I make. And no, I don't sell these yet. They're kind of just for me because I make each bag specific for the deck that I have. So, I mean, maybe eventually I'll start selling some, I'll create like a general pattern and just create a bunch of bags that I might sell on my Etsy or something. I don't know, but I do have an Etsy, but it mostly has artwork and stuff on it. But anyway, I've shown my decks that have bags like a gajillion times on my channel. So I didn't want to go through each of these decks to showcase that. You know, most of my bags are these drawstring style that have ribbon here that tie it close, and I do a special contrasting fabrics on either side, and some sort of ribbon or something that separates this from the outside, from the inside from the outside, and then I usually do some sort of embroidery, or in this case, it's a patch. That I got online. This one's for the Pulp Tarot. This one is for Guardians of the Night Tarot. This is my Anima Mundi, which I often use for moon readings, which is why I have it in this one. This ribbon, though, is always a little too tight, so I usually have to wiggle it a little bit to get that one open. So there we go. So there's that one. And this one's a bit different. This is for the Grunge Tarot, and I'm not going through these decks, but this one actually uses a zipper and has the deck inside. And I do have a lot of stray strings on this one, but it's actually a little bit part of the charm with this deck because the parts where there's different fabrics, it's just rough cut around. So it doesn't bother me so much that there is a lot of strings hanging off. But yeah, so this one is specifically designed like a mixtape, which I really liked for this deck, especially the content of this deck. So that one made sense to go off from my normal routine here. And this is the Cosmic Slumber. I made it to fit the box, but I don't keep the box in this anymore. So now it's a bit too big, but there we go. And then this one is my Lord of the Rings one. All right, so I'm going to take these to the side now because now I'm going to talk about all the decks that I have that I don't have bags for. All right, so I've separated out my decks here in like different categories, and I think I'm going to start off with the decks that are just too new to my collection, and that's the reason I don't have bags for them yet. So my oldest of these is probably the Star Codes Astro Oracle, and I do sort of plan to do a sort of, spacey, starry, astrological themed bag for this. I'm not going to pull out every single deck because I have a bunch here, so I'm just going to kind of just flip through. But I really love the kind of white and black and rainbowy look of this deck, and I'm really looking forward to doing some sort of bag for this. And I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but I definitely want to lean into this. I don't know, this very astrological deck. Yeah, I love cards like this, and yeah, I really love the rainbowiness of this deck. But yeah, so that is probably the oldest of my new decks. So I'm definitely want to do a bag for that. Let's see. I also have so this one's pretty new, the Whispers of Lord Ganesha. It's one of my newest decks, actually. I want to create a bag for this, but it's going to be much smaller than the box. This one I'll make big enough to fit the box in. And yeah, so I do that for a lot of my decks, that I make them big enough to fit the boxes. But if the boxes are a little too big, then I forgo that, but that's why I really like boxes that are form fitted to the cards. Because if this was the same size as the cards themselves, and the book was fit in there, then I would have kept that kept it in the box inside the bag that I end up making for it. So obviously I want to make something that's very Ganesha themed. I'm looking at some Ganesha embroideries and Ganesha bags or fabric. Yeah. Let's see. Another really new one is the Beloved Dead, and this one obviously I'm going to make not big enough, like just to fit the deck itself. Now I have the sister deck for this, which is the Relative Tarot. So I will probably make this bag to match the Relative Tarot. And let me grab that real quick to show what I mean. So here is the bag for the Relative Tarot. I'm not even going to pull out the deck, but I'm just showing the bag here. It's got like a family tree embroidery on it. It's brown, and it's got kind of this like kind of army green argyle print on the inside. Very vintage looking is kind of what I was going for with that. So I'll do something very, very similar with the Beloved Dead Oracle here to sort of match that one. Going back a little further in my acquisitions, I have the Urban Crow Oracle here, and this is in a similar vein as the Beloved Dead, in that I have a deck. I have the Crow Tarot, and this is the Urban Crow Oracle. Now the Crow Tarot I only use for the Goddess on Morrigan, and this deck I use for multiple purposes. So I don't just use them together, and this is not a specific Morrigan deck for me. This is a bit more general use, and I'll use it with other decks. Sorry, just had to cough there. Yeah, still getting, like, I am definitely over my cold for sure. It's just every once in a while I still have a little cough that lingers on. Ooh, I like that one. So yeah, I definitely want to do another kind of crow themed bag. I'm not going to go grab the the Crow Tarot bag because I didn't pull it out, so I'll just leave it in there. And if you've watched my channel a bunch, you've seen that deck. So yeah, so there's that one. I'm going to do something crow themed for that. Let's see. Also, a little further back here, we have the Midnight Magic tarot deck. I think I got this for my birthday, which was in October. So this box is actually kind of large, and it's a little too large for the deck itself. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to actually keep this outside of the box, or if I want to make a bag big enough for the box, because it's actually a little too big for the deck. It's a nice quality box, but I think I might do just the deck. I might make it just big enough for the deck. This is probably my favorite card in this deck here. I don't like the backs so much, but this is one of those decks that just goes with almost everything in my collection. Yeah, so really nice. I obviously want to do something very mushroom themed for very nighttime, very mushroom themed for this one. All right. All right, so the last two are also new acquisitions, and that's the Goblins and Gardens Tarot deck and the Eldritch Overload. Both of these, yeah, I'm really looking forward to making some bags for these. I'm obviously going to go with something really sparkly for this, and just very cyberpunk, lots of purples and pinks and like aqua colors. Yeah, like this, like really cool. Sorry about that. I tried to pause before I started coughing there, but that one made it through, I think. But yeah, so very cool. I'm definitely going to go with these colors for whatever bag that I make for this one. And then the Goblins and Gardens. Ooh, what am I going to do for this one? I've got to do some sort of goblin sort of embroidery for this one, and then really hone in on the gold and also the gardening for the actual fabric. I think that would look really cool. Maybe I could try to embroider some like a black and white, or just like a sketchy goblin on some like white fabric, and then kind of applique that onto a really gardeny themed bag. I don't know. that seems like a cool idea, but I really like this one. This is a cool card. So anyway, so that's this one, and I think these are some of my most recent decks. I do have other categories, and I do have a couple newer decks that are in different categories here. So, so that is all of my newish decks. And the reason I don't have bags for these is because they're just kind of new and I haven't gotten around to making bags for them yet. So, all right, next category. Oh my goodness, I forgot one. I just had it to the side. This is my newest deck purchase, and in fact I have one on the way, another one, so add that to this list for when it comes in. But I also have the Tarot of the Great Outdoors, and I just did a walkthrough of this, and I'm not sure if the walkthrough is going to come out before this video or after, but yeah. And I mean, I'm not going to talk about this deck too much because I just did a walkthrough of it. But yeah, I definitely am going to I'm definitely going to make a bag for this deck. And the box isn't too terribly big. It's a little too big for the deck. But I think the size of this box is just fine for a bag. So I will keep it in its bag. Ooh, look at that. I love autumn leaves. All right, so that's that one. And that was actually the last of my newest decks. As I said, I do have a deck coming in, and I will go ahead and tell you what that deck is. I'm expecting the Nocturna Oracle, and that is the kind of sister deck to the Anima Mundi. So I will probably make that one to, oh, I already put it away. I was just going to pull it out to show the bag for that one, but I'll probably make the bag for the Nocturna Oracle to sort of match the Anima Mundi one. All right, so that is for sure now the last of my newest decks. All right, so on the other end of the spectrum, I have decks that I've had for over a decade. These are my oldest decks that don't have bags, and these came from the year, I think I'm going to call these my 2012 decks, and I have a few of them because that was a year that I got a bunch of decks that year, for me even, like that, and then 2012, my youngest, that's when my youngest was born, so, and I probably got some of these actually in 2013, but they all came out in 2012, so, that's why I call them my 2012 decks. And I also have the Ghosts and Spirits is one of those 2012 decks, and that might be all of them. I feel like I'm missing one, but anyway, I don't have bags for these, and I never got around to making them. We have the Sacred Sites Tarot, the Crystal Visions Tarot, and the Shadowscapes Tarot. This is probably my least used of the three, and that may be why I haven't made a box for this one yet. And this one I would really like to make a bag for, and I would definitely go very like pinks and purples and dragons and things like that. I probably would have a dragon on there and maybe some sort of crystal or something like that. I look forward to making the bag for this one. And I don't know why, after all these years, I just have not made a bag for this. And then this one, the main reason I have not made a bag for this yet is the Sacred Sites Tarot is an out-of-print deck, and I'm not going to pull these out, by the way. So the Sacred Sites is an out-of-print deck, and the cardstock from this time leaves much to be desired. It's all very thin, and this one's US Games, this one's Los Scarabeo, and is this one Llewellyn? Yes, Llewellyn. So this is probably the best cardstock of the three, the Crystal Visions. But sorry, I'm really sorry about the coughing. The coughing now is so sudden that I don't have time enough to like pause it real quick. And it's just like little like it's sort of coughing. But anyway, so the cardstock from Llewellyn and from Los Scarabeo during this time, like the 2012 era, is very thin, like very, very thin. It makes for super easy shuffling, but yeah, they are very thin. And because of that, with this one, I'm really considering having this reprinted personally for me, and also with some changes to the cards, because it doesn't list the sacred sites of each of these cards on the card itself, and I think I'd like to change that. So the main reason I haven't made a bag for this deck is because I kind of want to get it reprinted into a nicer cardstock for me personally. Obviously, this would not be something that I sold or whatever, because that would be a lot more unethical. This is just my own personal use, just reprinting this out of print deck on better cardstock so I can better enjoy that deck. So yeah, so these are the 3 oldest decks that I have that don't have bags. All right, so the next category, I think I'm going to do the category of decks that actually are already in a bag or in some sort of box or something that I'm not going to all right, let me pull them out and I'll explain. Okay, I just like threw them on this. All right, so like these 2 I have, they're not in their original boxes, but I have them in these little boxes here. And this is actually not where I want to keep this one. This one is the what is this called? The Wildwood Tarot, and I trimmed it completely and edged it a long time ago, and the trimming was not done precisely, so it doesn't shuffle great. It's got an overhand. And I also I took off all the titles because I really hated the keywords, and I just kind of with some gold pen redid it. But this is probably one of my least favorite decks. The artwork is fantastic. I love the artwork, but this deck it almost goes a little too much its own way for me, and I'm tempted to just use this as an oracle deck because I do love the artwork on this. It's just, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so I've been keeping it in this little cedar box that has a bear on it, and it's not a great box. It doesn't clamp shut. Like it just sits there. So if I went like this, it would open easily. So like it's not a very secure box. So obviously I want to get something better, but it's been in this for probably like 10 years. And then this one is actually my Brian Froud Fairies Oracle. And this easily slides on and off. There's nothing holding that in. So I would love to make a new bag for this one. And yes, but it's just like with the other deck here, it's probably been in this for like 10 years. So and I haven't had any issues with these flinging open, but I also don't really use these ones very often. So there's those ones. Now these ones actually have bags. These 3 came with these bags because each of these 3, this is the Bifrost Oracle, I think that's what it's called. It's a Norse mythology, Norse deity themed deck. It's really cool. Not exactly my thing, mostly because I don't actually follow a lot of Norse deities, a Norse path. So while this deck is super cool and I love how thick it is, like how many cards there are, there's like over 80 cards, and they're easily shuffleable, and they are still usable because they do have keywords on each of the cards. But my own personal way that I do deity work and things like that, I don't usually go for decks that are deity based unless I have a relationship with each of the deities on the cards. That's just how I personally work. So I don't use this deck a lot, but I would like to occasionally use it because I have it, and I don't get rid of decks. But all 3 of these decks came in Witch's Moon boxes, and because of that, they each came with these little bags. The Bifrost came with this silver bag, which I snagged a little bit with my wedding ring when I brought all the decks out. This one is the Head Witch's Oracle, and it came with this little brown mesh bag. And so I just kind of, because they came with these bags and I kind of like them with the decks, I kind of treat it like that's how this deck was supposed to be in my collection, And this one is the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, and it also came with this Snowflake Obsidian here. I think that's Snowflake Obsidian. I'll have to double check. But and I keep saying that every time I pull out this deck. I'm like, I think this is Snowflake Obsidian. I'll have to check, and then I never check. But and then I say the same thing the next time I bring this deck out. But anyway, I also liked this black mesh bag with this one because I don't know, it went. And so I'm going to keep these with the bags that they came in. Now, this one is a bit different. Let me pull these to the side here. This is the Pagan Otherworlds deck, and it came with this this bag. And I have the extra cards in here too, because I don't keep extra cards in with tarot decks. I kind of keep them separate. Ooh, sorry about my dog. Hopefully I am able to edit out my dog just barking loudly, but if I'm not able to, sorry about that. Someone just went by our house and, you know, she's got to save us all by barking at them. But anyway, so the Pagan Otherworlds came with this bag, and I don't love it. I don't really even like it. So this is one of those things that I think I will create a bag for, but who knows when. And I will obviously keep it in the box that it came in, because this box is stunning. So yeah, so those are all the decks that I have that are in something else that they didn't originally come in. But some of them I do plan to make bags for, and some of them I am just happy to keep them in the little pre-made bags that they came in. Okay, so the next category is actually like a little subcategory here, and it is all my current Japanese decks. Yeah, so these are all new from last year. I got, actually this one came this year. So this is this is the first deck I got in 2024. So yeah, each of these I plan to make a bag for. And this may not seem like a Japanese deck, but it's got Japanese on the cards. It's the name of the cards are in English, and this is a little mini deck here. But the keywords for upright and reversed are in Japanese. So it is actually a Japanese deck. Yeah, so I have, and each of these are so different. I'm just going to pull out just a little bit here. All right, there we go. I've got each one of them out. I just wanted to show how each one of these decks are incredibly different from each other. Yeah, so they're obviously I'm going to go with a totally different style for each of these. These ones could be fairly similar, but they're the same size, and yeah, but I feel like I'm going to go a different route. But I will use very like Japanese themed fabric for these. I'm going to look for more Japanese embroideries. I don't know what I'm going to do with the teddy bear one. And I am planning on getting 2 more decks in this series. So whatever bag I make for this one is going to match the other 2 decks in this series that I end up eventually getting. And yeah, so that are these. So I'm going to do something obviously very teddy bear themed for this one and try to incorporate some Japanese in there. Maybe I'll just find some like stitchy looking fabric or teddy bear looking fabric, and then I'll use like katakana. I have katakana and hiragana embroidery fonts, and so maybe I will just embroider Luna Bear tarot on it or something, you know. So, and then this one is going to match whatever the other 2 decks are when I get those in, which I probably won't do for another year. I probably won't get the other ones for another year. So this one may be without a bag for a while. This one, I think I'm going to go more anime looking, because this one very much feels, the art on it is very anime looking, very manga. So I'm going to see what I can find for this one. And I think I'm going to stick with a lot of like blues, even though there's multiple colors in this deck. I mean, it's not just blue. We have other colors here. But I don't know. This deck for me feels very masculine. So yeah, I think I might go that route with this one. And then this one I feel like is more like very feminine, and the art style is a little bit more different here. So I think I'm gonna do a yin and yang sort of design on that. Yeah, I feel a tickle in my throat again, so I'm I feel I might cough again. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna have fun with this one. But all right, so those are all my current Japanese decks, and I am expecting to get a few more this year. The other two for this one, I'm probably gonna get those at the beginning of next year. But yeah, so those are this category. Also, I wanted to say, I totally forgot to say the names of these decks. This is the Shinwa Oracle, this is the Bushido Oracle, and this is the Ryujin Kado, or Dragon God Oracle deck. Yeah, so I just remembered that I forgot to say the names of these ones. So the next category isn't really a category, it's more of a... I don't exactly know how I'm going to do this one. And maybe it is a category because I think I'll add this in here too. So I have these multiple decks from the Memento Mori. And this is the base deck, and they leave room in here for added cards for later on because this is a deck system that uses a lot of expansions. And this is the base expansion. Now this is supposed to be an Oracle and Lenormand. However, when I bought I think it's this one, the general expansion pack. I put the expansion pack in with this, and I took out the Lenormand, and I have that in here. So the Lenormand is actually in this one because I really did not want the Lenormand to be part of the Oracle. I wanted the Lenormand on its own to use on its own. So I think for this one, I'm just not exactly sure what I want to do because I feel like I want to make a bag for this deck, for this box, and whatever cards I have in here. Then I have the Ancestor pack here, and I have the... Oh no, this is the general expansion. This is the Folk Magic. This is where the Lenormand is. The Folk Magic one, I could mix in with this, and I might do that. I might have the Folk one in with this one. And then there's also the Timing pack that I don't have that I would eventually get. And I feel like that needs its own little separate thing. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with this. So the reason I don't have a bag for these decks is because I'm not exactly sure I know what I want to do with these. And how I want to store them. I'm definitely a bag person, but I just, because of the way this is set up, I'm not sure I know how I want to use this. I could, of course, have like all of them in one big bag, but I don't know that I like that. And I kind of like the Lenormand being off on its own because for me it's a separate thing. And then this pack, the Ancestors pack, plus the Timing pack that I don't have, those ones feel like their own thing. Whereas the Folk Magic, I do feel like could easily go with this, and I could keep these ones together. Even like taking these out and putting them in here, I can do that. But yeah. I just don't know. So I don't know what I want to do with that. And I think in that same sort of vein, I only pulled out one of these, but all the Green Glyph collections decks, like I could keep them in these nice collectible boxes that they came in, and these are beautiful, beautiful boxes. But they're kind of, I don't like how big they are to the deck. If they were snug around the deck and the guidebook for it, which... Honestly, this could have been like I feel like this could have been done like that because this is what each page looks like. You can easily condense that to something that's this size in a little booklet and then have the box form fit around that. That could have easily worked, but I don't know. I mean, he had his own reasons for doing it the way he did it. It's just for me... and the way I like to store my decks, this sort of thing doesn't work for me. I prefer form-fitting boxes. So, obviously, there's four of these decks. This is the Oracle. I also have a Tarot, a Rune set, and a Lenormand. And there's the Pendulum too. These are gorgeous, aren't they? So this. How I think I want to do this, because I really considered making matching bags for each of these decks, But James R. Eads has his own bags specifically made for these decks on his site. And they each have a separate color that matches, like the green one for the Oracle. I think it's like an orangey color for the runes, yellow for the Lenormand, and blue for the tarot. I had to close my eyes and think about that for a second. So I think it might be easier, and honestly would cost about the same, if I just order the pre-made bags for these decks and use those. And now they're not drawstring like what I normally use. They are like a wraparound deck. So I think that's what I'm going to do eventually. So I'm in no rush to get it. The only thing that bums me out is I have this beautiful box set for these, and yeah, and I'm not going to be using the, like, I don't know, sometimes box sets of things or big boxes, it's not something that appeals to me, because for me it's a little bit of a waste, and I can't exactly showcase it, because if I showcase them, then I'm not really using them. And that's why I like them in the separate bags that I make for them, because for me it makes it more usable, if that makes sense. But anyway, so that's that category there. Now, my last category, I'm going to move those out of the way. My last category is decks that I'm either not planning on making bags for, or if I eventually do, it's going to be a really long time. I have no immediate plans to make bags for these. So the first one is this one, the Spread Crafters set. Yeah, so these are not traditional Oracle cards. They're spread creation cards, and I love them, and I use them, and I've made videos on my channel using this deck system. And it is similar to the Memento Mori in that it's expansions for a deck, so I'm not exactly sure how I want to keep them together. Because these are so incredibly different, like especially the quest cards here, they are like a whole system itself. So I definitely want to keep this separate. But this one, I feel like I could actually mix it in with this one and use it in the same sort of way. So it's like, but then, like, do I want to make a bag system out of this, or have these in bags when they're not really traditional Oracle cards? You could use them as Oracle cards, but I don't, at least not yet. I use them as spread machines, you know, as a spread crafter. I think as of right now, I have no plans to make a bag or bags for the Spread Crafters here. All right, so that's that one. Next up, I'm going to do this one, because this one, ooh, I almost knocked a candle over. Okay, it's not lit though. So the Tattoo Tarot. This one I was iffy about putting in this category, because this is the only one where I'm considering making a bag for. The other ones I have no immediate plans, and this one I have no immediate plans either, but I'm really considering it. And part of the reason is because the box that it comes in is kind of huge, and it's too big for the cards, and I kind of hate that with boxes when they're made too big for the cards. So in that sense, I do kind of want to make a bag for this. But at the same time, I actually, like, I love the style of this box. Like, it's just a really, really pretty box. And I'm just, I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I kind of want to make a bag for this, but I have no immediate plans for it. And I do really like the box. It's just too big. That's my issue with it. The box is too big, but I like the box. I wish it form fitted to the cards, this exact box, but just smaller, form fitted, because then I would make a bag and I would just keep this in the box. Like, I would keep the bag in the box. So yeah, so that's the Tattoo Tarot. I'm on the fence on whether I want to make a bag for this one or not. All right, so the last two. These two, I have zero plans making bags for these. This is the Gita deck, and it is, I used this one for my month of January when I did my Ganesha month, basically. And these cards are stunning. They are front and back. They have traditional Hindu artwork on the front with some keywords, and then on the back it has the verse from the Bhagavad Gita that this came from, and they have it here in Sanskrit, how to pronounce it, so how to pronounce this chant here, and then a translation of the verse down here. So yeah, I mean it's a front and back kind of style deck. So I don't really use this necessarily as an oracle, but I mean I do shuffle it and pull randomly, but there's only so much randomization you can do with a deck that has a bunch of different backs, that has information front and back. Because in general, that's not really my style. This is probably the only deck I have that is like that. But to be honest, I have no desire to make a bag for this one. I think it's just fine in the box that it came in, and I'm just going to leave it as is, and I keep it on my Ganesha altar in my bedroom. So there we go. And the other one is the Murder of Crows, and this is the special edition. This is the one that has there's a number for the limit. It's a limited edition. It was 2,999 copies, and that is my copy's number. And it also has the red accents on the front and the back of the cards. Woo, jeez. So yeah, and these cards themselves are kind of huge. There's no way on this earth that I would be able to riffle shuffle or bridge this deck at all. This is a strictly overhand shuffling deck for me. My hands are way too small for this deck. But I love the very macabre style of this deck, black, white, and definitely the red, because I had zero interest in the main version of this deck that is just strictly black and white. That's just not usually my style. Like the Bifrost Oracle is black and white, but again, I didn't buy that deck. That came in a Witch's Moon box. So technically I bought it, but I didn't pick it out. But so I definitely wanted this version of the Murder of Crows tarot that had the red accents in it, because to me that's what totally makes this deck for me. But yeah, so the box that it comes in is very interesting. I've never seen a box that opens this way, like from top to bottom. Usually if it does this whole thing, the magnetic opening and like that, it's usually to the side like that. So this is the only one I have that does that. The book is in here, plus the 2 extra cards at the bottom. And I honestly just have this sitting on my thing like this, and I don't know, I have zero desire to make a bag for this one. I don't think I'll ever make a bag for this one, but who knows, I can't predict the future. But yeah, so those are the decks that I have little to no plans of making bags for. All right, well, that was all the decks I could find in my collection that don't have bags, that I don't have bags for. I'm sure I'm missing a couple, and like I said, I'm expecting the Nocturna Oracle coming in the next week or two, so I'm obviously not going to have a bag for that one. And as far as when I'm planning to make some of these bags, I'm not sure. I have such a busy schedule. Yeah, I'm really focusing a lot on the Japanese, and I am focusing a lot on the spiritual, but it's leaving little room for the creativity aspect of my life and also the exercise aspect of my life. But yeah. Yeah, so like I've been knitting lately, which, you know, I could make some knit bags for some of these, but I don't know, I'm more of a doing fabric and embroidery, that sort of thing for my bags. That's more my speed, but I feel like I might end up making a few knit bags if I feel called to, so I'm not discounting that, but I have been, as far as creativity goes, I've been focusing a little bit more on my knitting, which I have definitely neglected over the years. So yeah, and I do also have, I need to contact 2 clients for potential pet portraits. I paint pet portraits sometimes, so I might be doing that. So like, when am I going to make some bags for these decks? I don't know. I'm really hoping in the next like 3 to 4 months I can just have a couple weeks where I just make bags. All right, so thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye.